Thank you very much, Riff. What's up, guys? We're joined by Doublelift here of Counterlogic Gaming. You guys looked angry that game. 21.5 minutes? What happened?
Yeah, we were a little bit annoyed because everyone was saying, like, oh, this is like the downfall of CLG, like, blah, blah, all this stuff after we lost first curse. And so we tried pretty hard this game. And as you saw, like, we just beat them up. It was really easy. I don't think that the bottom 5 teams know how to play 2v1 at all.
Okay. So you opted into it because you think you have the strategic edge here. What do you think holding them back?
Every team pretty much does it, to be honest. Like, whether you're a top 3 team against another top 3 team or, like, you're just playing whatever, you just do it when it's advantageous for us, for the team. And, like, Dig is especially, like, one of those teams that I feel like they just don't really care and they just play, like, what they want to play. And so Cruiser's, like, playing Jace. And he's, like, the only person who plays Jace in this last, like, month. And we're just like, all right, they don't really want to win. So we just 2v1 Jace, and then Jace becomes useless.
Yeah, it was really interesting because I feel like the 2 versus 1 situation has become very formulaic in this new patch. You usually do the swap so that you can invade and secure your jungler 2 buffs, and then you take 1 or 2 turrets, and then the wave that you build up, you freeze it for as long as you can with your top laner, and once you build it up, you push down a turret with it. You guys caught out a couple of Dig members down there. What do you think is keeping them from jumping on the same train as all the other teams in the new patch?
I think one of the biggest issues is that the bottom 5 teams generally have players that don't want to play meta champions. The top laners especially. They want to play like Jax or Jace or Lee Sin or whatever it is. And Lee Sin's like okay, you know, like that's like borderline because he's a bruiser and you can run TP on him and he's kind of effective in 2v1 because he can jungle. But a lot of these players are like, I just want to like carry and it sucks being 2v1 so I'm just going to freeze. And I understand that mindset because it really does suck getting denied. And then you just do want to freeze to get as much CS as you possibly can. But then you have to look at like what a good team will do. You know, what would C9 do to you? What would TSM? What would we do to you? And it's exactly that. Like we're just going to form you, and there's nothing you can do about it. You're just dead. And as soon as you lose 2 champions and a tower, and all your top laner got was like a wave of CS, you pretty much just lost the game. So it just happens with top laners who are willing to play for the team as opposed to like playing selfishly.
So then actually to think about this then, if you can project forward, what do you think sort of the next evolution of like, well, of course you should always do this, right? Like, okay, yeah, the turrets go down. Well, you should push, not freeze, because you got a turret for it. What's next in like this chain of advantages?
Well, I think actually there was a really big shift when everyone started running TP. So when top laners started running TP on champions like Shiv, on champions like Lee Sin, you can actually kind of counter that dive that every team is doing. When you try to like 4v3, because then it becomes a 4v4. So I think that was like an adaptation that people made where like you can kind of freeze, but only for a little bit because TP's only up 1 time. You know, you can only do it for 1 wave, but like, and then after that you have to go back to your frozen wave unless you want to break the freeze. So it's like a band-aid fix for like a couple minutes of freezing. I think the next adaptation, it's really formulaic right now because you can kind of tell which lane it's going to. It's going to go bottom, right? Yeah. So you can also do that like on the base turrets, like just dive the inhib at like 4 minutes. You can also do it on mid, which is something that nobody really does. I definitely think that like OGN will probably be the team or the league to break it, and then the rest of NA will kind of follow because we're kind of scared of doing new stuff.
It's weird. I think it's interesting because you said we're like afraid of doing new stuff, but you're like, but the guys who aren't playing standard top laners, they're wrong.
Well, yeah, because they didn't really think about like obviously you don't see Balls, Dyrus, or Nian playing like really random stuff like Jace top. So. And our success, I think, is partly attributed to the fact that our top laners will win to play for the team.
Okay.
All right, so let's bring up a replay from that game. This is one of the instances where you guys put some hurt on Golden Glue.
Oh, yeah.
So let's roll this one through and walk us through it.
Okay, so Link's going hard on Golden Glue right here because apparently I didn't really...
this is just a solo.
Oh, this is just a solo kill. Yeah, I thought this was when we were roaming around. I think Link is just going ham right here. And Golden Glue is just like always out of position. I feel like he doesn't respect that Thresh can just walk him and hook him right there, so he gets hooked, he's dead for free, and then we're just like right here, our combo's like the right clear's dead, let's go mid. And I'm pretty sure, that was pretty ham right there by Dexter, but it was close. He likes to make the big plays on Lee, but as soon as you kill the enemy mid laner especially has to have really, really good positioning. I think even better than ADs right now, because when your mid laner's dead and people are 2v1ing, you're generally roaming as 4 or 5 people, like a unit, and as soon as the mid laner's dead, you're ready to pounce on a tower as 5 people.
And in this matchup, in the 2 versus 1 situation where there's no jungler involvement, Orianna seems like a good mid lane pick. Should be able to bully Nidalee early.
Yeah, actually, I think Ori has like superior wave clear, but Link is, I think, just the better player right now. Golden Glue's kind of nervous with LCS. It doesn't have as much experience, and Link, I think, is a top 2 NA mid, if not the best. So, like, I expect him to win against Golden Glue pretty handily, which he did.
Well, of course, congratulations to Link. Then actually talking about people at the top of the roll, though, we've got a replay of you. Pretty much 1v2ing. You got another one this game if you want to pull the replay up.
Oh, yeah, I remember this. So we're 1-3-1ing right now. Because we're so far ahead, we can take 3 lanes at once. And I see that they're trying to make like some sort of desperate 2v1 play on me. But as soon as Cruiser goes 50%, I know that this is not going to work. Like, if you just think about it, the only damage that they have right now is Cruiser's Burst. And Jace, when he goes into melee form, you just flash the Q and it doesn't do any damage to you. I'm not sure if that's just been part of the game for a while. And then Link is here to back me up just in case like I fail the skirmish or whatever. It's best to have Nidalee mid lane because she can always go to a side lane in case they try to make a play like really fast. She can bounce around and give you a heal to save you. And that's what we did. It's pretty easy. I don't know why Dig did that.
So the hammer has to hit you to do the damage.
Yeah.
If you don't hit him with the hammer, he's not going to do any damage. It makes sense, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Sure. Yeah, come on. It's logic. Okay, so I like that. The like little adaptation where it's like, I love the teams that realize things like that where you're like, oh yeah, Nidalee goes mid because she can go somewhere else, help someone else out, right? Like,
Yep.
Are there any little like trade secrets like that you can think of that you feel like other teams aren't implementing that are like really obvious?
Not really. I think everything's pretty intuitive to us, but like, I don't know. I don't think any team who's LCS level should be losing out hard in 2v1s right now. Like, it's really basic. It's just really simple. People who try to like put in their own like little swag onto it or something, they generally fall behind, especially against top 3 teams right now.
Okay, so let's actually move forward then to your playoff matchup is going to be against Team Coast 3 vs 6. We know that's for sure in the first round. They're going to be playing against Cloud9 later today. How do you feel about Coast?
Coast is actually pretty decent. Shifter is really good. Everyone always just says that. That's really obvious. Their bot lane's been playing not so good recently.
WizFusion got like, what,
15.
15 kills in the last game that they played?
Yeah. Yeah, but if he doesn't get Lucian, I feel like Wiz is like not as impactful. Like, his best champion is Lucian, and he's really good on it. But if you ban it out or take it away from him, he's not as like playmaking.
I have an interesting follow-up to that. Do you feel like WizFusion plays differently in solo queue than in LCS matches?
Yeah, he does. He plays really aggressive. This happens a lot to LCS players. I like find them in solo queue and they'll play really aggressive. I'm like, wow, they're getting a lot better. And then when I play them in LCS, I feel like they're nervous. They like second guess themselves, and it only takes like 1 split second of indecision, and then you lost a trade because like the other AD is playing more manly than you, and you're just like scared.
Yeah, so you're knocking people around then. So speaking of knocking people around, I want to ask you, what is your favorite moment from this year so far?
My favorite moment? Definitely the game against TSM on the 29th when we finally won and we broke their like 3-win streak against us. That was probably like the most exciting game I've ever played. I normally like, after a game I'm just like, yeah, whatever we won, or like, yeah, whatever we lost. But after that game, I was like, that was such a good game. Like, I want to go back and watch it over and over and over again because it was so good.
Your crowning achievement of crushing them.
How many times have you watched it already?
Twice.
Only
twice? I
twice?
came home and watched it twice in a row. Yeah.
Twice in a row.
It was so good.
Immediately relived an hour of your life over and over again. All right, Double F, thank you very much. Of course, we're just warming up here in the last day of Super Week. When we come back, Evil Geniuses will look for a win in their quest for 7th place as they face off against Team Curse. Don't go anywhere.